were new Epstein photos released today showing you and also Bill Clinton, Steve Bannon. What were your reaction to those new photos that were released today?
Well, I haven't seen it, but I mean, everybody knew this man. He was all over Palm Beach. He has photos with everybody. I mean, almost there are hundreds and hundreds of people that have photos with him, so that's no big deal. I know nothing about it.
At the exact moment House Democrats release newly surfaced Epstein-related photos, Donald Trump steps into the spotlight honoring American athletes. Two moments collide, two narratives compete, and one question immediately follows. What is America really being asked to focus on right now? Tonight's story is not just about images or ceremonies. It's about timing, perception, and how political attention moves in an election year. The newly released photos connected to Jeffrey Epstein have reignited public curiosity, not because they present new criminal findings, but because Epstein's case still represents something unresolved in the American psyche. A wealthy financier, a vast social network, serious crimes exposed late, and a lingering sense that accountability never fully reached the highest levels of power. It is important to be clear. Photographs show presence, not proof. Proximity, not participation. Many of these images were taken years before Epstein's crimes were widely known. No image alone establishes wrongdoing. That distinction matters for truth, for fairness, and for public trust. House Democrats argue that releasing material tied to Epstein serves transparency. They say the public has a right to see records involving powerful figures, even if uncomfortable. In their view, withholding information risks protecting influence over accountability. Republicans respond that the timing is political. They argue that resurfacing images without new evidence risks inflaming speculation rather than advancing justice. To them, this is less about truth and more about narrative control in a heated election cycle. And while that debate unfolds, Donald Trump appears at an event honoring athletes, celebrating discipline, excellence, and national pride. Cameras capture applause, medals, smiles, a stark contrast to the gravity of the Epstein story dominating headlines elsewhere. Supporters see it as leadership, a focus on achievement instead of accusation. Critics see strategic optics, a deliberate shift of attention away from controversy towards celebration. So which interpretation is correct? In modern politics, meaning is often shaped not only by facts but by framing. What appears on screens, what dominates timelines, what feels more immediate, more emotional, more memorable. Ask yourself this: when two stories compete, one rooted in unresolved questions, the other in symbolic moments, where does your attention go, and why? This moment highlights a deeper tension in American politics: transparency versus timing, accountability versus optics, curiosity versus caution. Many Americans are frustrated not with any single figure, but with a system where serious questions linger without resolution, where stories resurface again and again, yet consequences feel distant or incomplete, where trust erodes not from a lack of information, but from the sense that information is managed for advantage. Trump's appearance honoring athletes adds another layer. It reflects a reality many voters express openly. They are tired of scandal, tired of constant controversy, and eager for moments that feel unifying, even if brief. But unity without clarity can also leave questions unanswered. As these parallel narratives unfold, the challenge for the public is discernment, understanding context, separating documentation from speculation, recognizing when timing shapes perception more than substance. Because in an election year, moments like this are rarely accidental. They reveal how power communicates, how attention is guided, and how voters are invited, sometimes subtly, to prioritize one story over another. Stay with us. In the next part, we'll look at what this collision of ceremony and controversy tells us about trust, transparency, and how Americans decide what truly matters when politics and perception collide. Before we continue, we want to hear from you. Do you believe releasing these photos serves accountability, or does timing undermine trust? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments. When controversy and ceremony intersect, the deeper story is rarely about either one alone. It's about how Americans process information and whom they choose to believe. The Epstein case continues to resurface not because of new revelations, but because it symbolizes something unresolved, a belief held by many that wealth and influence delayed scrutiny, that warning signs were overlooked, and that accountability arrived late, incomplete, or not at all. That perception matters. It matters because democracy relies on trust, not just in outcomes, but in processes. When people believe information is released selectively, confidence weakens. When timing feels strategic, skepticism grows. And once skepticism becomes default, even truthful disclosures struggle to regain credibility. This is why responsible framing is essential. Being photographed with Epstein does not imply criminal behavior. Many individuals encountered him socially before his crimes were fully exposed. Ignoring that context replaces inquiry with assumption and accountability with accusation. At the same time, transparency cannot depend on convenience. If records exist, the public expects access. The tension lies in how and when that access is provided, and whether it serves understanding or simply fuels outrage. Trump's decision to honor athletes during this moment reflects another reality. Politics is not only about responding to controversy, it's about projecting stability, strength, and direction. For many voters, those signals matter more than endless revisiting of past scandals. So the public is left weighing two impulses: the desire to keep asking hard questions and the desire to move forward without being consumed by unresolved history. Neither impulse is wrong, but democracy depends on balance. Media plays a critical role here, to inform without inflaming, to contextualize without amplifying speculation, to respect public curiosity while protecting factual integrity. Because the greatest risk is not scandal, it is cynicism, the belief that nothing leads to accountability, that timing always equals manipulation, that truth is secondary to advantage. As the 2024 election approaches, moments like this will become more frequent. Competing narratives, carefully chosen optics, emotional contrasts designed to shape memory more than understanding. So ask yourself this: what kind of transparency builds trust, and what kind erodes it? When leaders face controversy, what response signals responsibility, and what feels like avoidance? Those answers will shape how Americans judge not just individual figures, but the credibility of institutions themselves. We want to hear from you. Do moments like this clarify the public record or deepen distrust? Comment below. Stay engaged and keep watching, because understanding how power, timing, and perception interact is essential to an informed democracy.